This programme was filmed in a licensed casino that legally permitted smoking. For advice regarding health issues associated with smoking, visit gosmokefree.co.uk or visit a medical practitioner.
Welcome back to Poker Heaven, all in Romania, where we're down to our final table. Throughout the show, we have explained to you the basics of poker, as well as some of the essential strategies. It's now time to step things up a bit as we take a look at pot odds. Pot odds refer to the relationship between the pot size and the bet size. Pot odds are simply the ratio of what is already in the pot to the amount you would have to bet in order to stay in the hand. You would usually use pot odds when your hand is not yet the best hand in play, but could be if the right card is dealt. In the following example, we are given an ace of spades and a 3 of spades. The flop is king, jack, 4 with 2 spades. The pot currently stands at €80 and a bet of €20 is made. There is now €100 in the pot and we have to put in 20 to call. This gives us pot odds of 100 to 20, or more simply, 5 to 1. Our hand is not the best at the moment, but we do have a flush draw and need to work out the probability of hitting it. An easy and straightforward way of calculating the probability of hitting your hand can be worked out as follows. The number of outs you have times the number of cards you still have to come times 2. An out is any card we need to hit to improve our hand into the winner. In this case, our number of outs is 9, as there are 13 spades in the deck, minus the 4 already on the board. And there are still 2 cards to be dealt, the turn and the river. So, in this case, our probability of hitting the flush is 9 times 2 times 2, which equals 36% and is roughly 2 to 1. This means that we have the correct odds in which to make the call. We might not hit our spade, but in the long term, playing this way will be to our advantage. It is important to know the odds at any given time, as it gives you an idea when you're in a good or bad situation. So this is the moment that every poker player dreams of, a seat at the final table and a chance of winning the title. We started with 55 players and we are now down to our final 10, all of whom have finished in the money. This is where the real battle begins. Everyone, even those at the bottom of the table, will be eyeing a top 3 finish and the chance to claim the title of the PokerHeaven.com Romanian Cup champion.
There were times when I thought that I will go out. I was very short stack and got really lucky with King Jack against King Queen, so I hope I don't bump into any big stacks and play very careful.
The average age of the final 10 mirrored the state of poker in Romania. Young, determined and explosive. The rejuvenated crowds gathered in support of the players who carefully eyed their opponent's stacks, meticulously calculating when to make their move. Unsurprisingly, the first casualty was Macedon Popescu, who took a gamble with his King 10 offsuit after being unable to post the blinds. Exiting in 10th place, he seemed grateful to have simply made the final table and satisfied for ending in the money. All of a sudden, the mood changed as the short stacks grew in confidence. Any weak-looking raise was quickly followed by the words, all in. For the first time in the tournament, the chip leaders became wary of their opponents. Even the smallest of stacks could dent their own, leaving them open to attack from the rest of the table. Even the normally aggressive Radu seemed unwilling to gamble after hitting top pair on the board, a tempting call at any time. Once again, it seemed as if we were waiting for a clash between 2 big hands. It took a while, but eventually Ciprian Hrișcă took the plunge and moved all in with his pocket cherries. It was an easy call for Claudio Dumitrescu, who after turning over his pair of ladies went on to win and take yet another scalp.
I raise all in, somebody pay, have a better pair than me, and that's it. This is poker.
As the saying goes, you wait all day for a bus and then 2 come along at once. Suddenly everyone seemed to be picking up great hands and nothing could stop them from moving all in. It was only a matter of time before players were to fall by the wayside.
Every time you lose, you go out with a bitter taste. Right now there are 2 guys that have a huge stack. Certainly one of them will win. It will be very interesting to watch them heads up. Very probably they will be playing heads up.
More and more, the action seemed to be taking place pre-flop, and it wasn't long before we had our next casualty. Andre Vasil's Big Slick was no match against Lika Sever's Rockets.
No cards all the tournament, only my experience bring me to final table, only that.
As players exited the tournament, the chip leaders regained their confidence. Radu Mihai adding yet more ammunition to his stack after calling Paul Mattai's all in with ace-10. What was left of the field must have wondered what it was going to take to stop the young Romanian.
The future of poker in Romania looks very good, looks promising because of the interest of Romanian players in poker and in gambling also. We have the three Christians who are part of the Romanian team at World Cup of Poker in Barcelona. So a lot of people are now going to live events, which will help.
Now, how important is it that we have tournaments like this here in Romania and that they're seen on the television?
Yes, it's very, very important because it's the first event from Romania. You are here to help Romanian players to grow up, and I think can be another good start for all Romanian players and for poker.
Heads-up poker is widely considered to be completely different to tournament poker. The rules are still the same, but the players' strategies differ as only one opponent remains. To master it, though, is essential. Let's now take a look at one of the most important features in poker. Every tournament will eventually boil down to two players. A heads-up duel in which the winner will claim the trophy and the illustrious title. Heads-up poker is a completely different game to normal tournament poker, and if you ever intend to win a title, you need to either get very lucky or learn some basic heads-up skills. The first thing to note that in heads-up play is that the small blind has the button. This means that the big blind will be out of position for the whole hand, save pre-flop, giving the small blind a huge advantage. Remember that in every hand you are putting in at least the small blind, so theoretically pot odds dictate that you should never fold. In heads-up, the hand values will change enormously. Hands such as ace-7, which should be thrown away in mid-tournaments, become a powerhouse in heads-up poker. You should raise with every face card and any pair, call with everything else, and re-raise with premium hands and medium pairs. It is a far more psychological game compared to the rest of the tournament. Aggression is key, as by this time the blinds will be huge and there will be plenty to contest pre-flop. Most of the time, when an opponent raises pre-flop, he won't have a top hand, so don't be scared to come over the top. Every heads-up game is different, as every opponent has a different style of playing. He may bluff a lot, fold too often, or call too much. Find out how he plays, and from that, how to beat him. Use every weapon you have learnt. Check call, check fold, check raise, betting out small, betting out big, bluff, bluff raise, bluff re-raise. Getting a read on your opponent is more vital here than any other time because you are playing every hand against him. Aggression is one of the most important tools heads up. You need to be able to use it to your advantage when the odds are with you. Most of the time in heads up poker, you and your opponent won't hit anything on the flop. If you only play your good hands, your opponent will pick this up and you will never get paid off. Therefore, you have to bluff every now and again. Playing one-on-one poker is the ultimate test of your ability, and it is an essential aspect to any professional poker player's game. The crowds have gathered in support of the final five, and after 17 hours of poker, it's all about stamina and who has the will to win. At this stage, if you find yourself short-stacked and all in with a pair of ladies against the chip leader's pocket fours, you must be thinking your fortunes are about to change. But a third four on the river proving that you would need more than good cards to beat Radu Mihai. Razvan Seb left in 5th position, picking up a check for just over €1,000. Another low board and a bet from Claudio seemed to be exactly what the doctor ordered for Lika Sever, who immediately stomped his chips across the line with his pocket cowboys. But it was not enough to scare Claudio, whose hopes of a flush draw were realised with the very next card. Without a care in the world and with an army of chips at his disposal, Radu continued to apply the pressure to his opponents. And there was only so many times Radu Srad would give up his big blind and decided to make a stand with 10-8 off suit. But like many before him, he could not find the cards he needed and bowed out in a respectable third place. And so we were heads up, and after 18 hours of poker, Radu Mihai had achieved a 3-1 chip lead over Claudio Dumitrescu, and with it continued to pile on the pressure. Psychology, bluffing, hand selection and aggression are only some of the key elements that are needed in order to win any poker tournament. Claudio knew that if he was going to stand any chance of winning the tournament, he was going to have to take some risks and mix up his game. With two aggressive players at the table, it wasn't long before one of them uttered the words Radu called and everyone rose to their feet. Pocket fives versus pocket sevens, and Claudio was on the verge of doubling up. But a 5 on the flop was to seal his fate, and a champion was crowned.
Mihai, ești marele câștigător, peste 17 ore de poker jucate de tine, un adevărat maraton, obosit, extenuat sau fericit?
Obosit și foarte fericit, nu doar fericit.
Ai studiat jocul pentru că am observat că ești un jucător foarte tăcut și un jucător care gândește fiecare mutare.
Am studiat foarte mult. Când am jucat online prima oară, nu mai aveam bani și nu mai puteam să joc. Și am zis că las că data viitoare trebuie să iasă. Și până la urmă a ieșit.
And so we have our champion. 21-year-old Mihai Radu takes the title and first place prize of over €5,000. Congratulations to everyone who made the final table and helped make the PokerHeaven.com Romanian Cup an exciting and memorable tournament. So that's it from the Poker Heaven Romanian Cup here in Bucharest, and it's congratulations to 21-year-old Radu Mihai, our newly crowned champion and winner of over €5,000. It's been an exciting tournament with plenty of ups and downs, so thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you next time.